really think that you're so much better than people, your last name might be best, but that does not mean that you were the best at everything. Well, that was like a very anticlimactic conversation of Devin and Caitlin to talk about the gym situation. And she's like, I can't be with you 24/7. I will feel smothered. And he's like, I don't want you with me 24/7. Even though it does seem like he does want her with him 24/7 because he always wants to be with her. But then it's just like, everything's fine. Okay.
I'm curious, so like, what is friendship to you?
My first boyfriend was like 17 or so. We were together for 10 years. I was outgrowing him. I had bigger dreams.
For me, I feel like I'm pouring out. Comes times to a difficult moment for me, they are just avoiding me.
So Nikki and Sean are at dinner and they're having what is actually one of their best, most productive conversations so far. And Shawn asked Nikki what friendship looks like in her life and how it's played out or whatever. Anyway, she gets into her first relationship, which was with a guy when she was 17. They were together for 10 years, and essentially she outgrew him. And when she says that she outgrew him, she says it's because she had bigger dreams and she wanted more. And he just kind of felt like maybe he needed a simpler woman because she essentially made him, I guess, feel smaller just because she had such big ambitions and goals in her life. You know what? I think that's a great lesson for a lot of people out there is that, like, even if you're 10 years into your relationship, you can still end it and start over and it will be okay. Because imagine what she would be like, what she would be doing if she was like, you know what? No, I've already put 10 years into this relationship. Let me stay in it. I don't want to throw this away. I don't want to have wasted my time. No, she wouldn't be where she is today. She wouldn't be doing all the things, have accomplished all the things. Shawn then says that for him, he wants somebody who will be there for him when he has like a tough time because he's always there for other people, but he feels like no one is ever there for him when he needs someone and no one's there to like check in on him, make sure he's okay, and like give to him and pour into him. And I think that's incredibly sad. Because how do you have no one that will do that for you in your life? And so he said that he feels like for the first time since having a wife, he feels like he's finally not alone. I mean, even outside of her, I hope that he finds people that will be there for him.
When do you think you want to have kids?
I would like start trying in a year.
I do think I want like a little bit of time. There's flashes of like run. Think about marriage and having kids. I do get kind of scared.
They should have never put the two of them together. They should have never done it. She clearly is on a timeline for having kids. Rightfully so, because she has a lot of medical stuff that she has to factor in. And he is a person who has never been in a long-term relationship. And he is also wanting to wait a while before having kids. They should have never put the two of them together. In that sense, they are completely incompatible.
I have my socks on. They're my swim socks.
Does he have his socks on?
Swim socks are, you know, an underappreciated and not a super well-known piece of fashion.
So all the couples are at a pool party where Adam is wearing swim socks.
Get away from me.
Yes.
Do your own thing. I'm gonna do my own. And then we'll come. Yeah, of course.
I know she likes me, but it's like, is it like friend love?
I feel like people are forgetting that they are essentially strangers and they have just met each other less than a week ago. Because Devin is wanting so much from Caitlin in form of like being together, physical affection, and it's like you have to give her time. You have to. Even if you're not that kind of person, it is unrealistic, in my opinion, to expect that she is like ready and willing to just jump into all the things with you when she has already laid it out for you that she is not that kind of person. But these people are just acting like, what's wrong? And I think a lot of them are just overthinking the entire situation and placing so much weight on the fact that they are married and expecting that what most people experience and grow over the course of like a year and a half, 3 years, 5 years, leading into a real normal marriage, and they just like got married at first sight. They're forgetting that things just take time. You still have to build even though you just got married. Like you can't skip that step. You just can't.
Like goofy with me, like pull out that like playful like side of me.
Yeah,
But
like a goofy person.
I
feel
have
like
no idea.
Nick and Courtney are on a boat date, and Courtney finally works up the courage to tell Nick that she is bored, essentially, and that they need to have some fun and some goofiness added into their relationship. Nick says that he feels the exact same way, and he is a goofy person. She was like, I would have never known that. I also would have never known that. So we will see if things do actually change and turn around, and they both start showing a little bit of compatibility in that front, Nick needs to show that he can match her level of fun and goofiness, because she's shown us that she likes to have fun. She likes to laugh. She likes to be playful.
Like, just being 100% honest. Sometimes it makes me want to, like, run for the hills.
If commitment is so scary to you, then like, how did you end up getting married at first sight?
Oh, God.
Is there a man on here who is not scared of commitment? Because Cameron and Michelle is her name Michelle? I think her name is Michelle. They're sitting on the beach in like a little cabana thing, having a conversation. And he says, you know, change is hard for him. And so talking about marriage, kids, all the things, like there's a part of him that wants to run for the hills. And so she asks him, if you've never been in a long-term relationship, how did you end up getting married at first sight? And she's like laughing about it. And I'm just like, truly, because if this is making you want to run for the hills, there is a part of you that is scared of commitment. And I don't know how many men we need on this season who are scared of commitment. I don't know why we're marrying people who are scared of that. If anything, you need to be wanting that. So Cameron answers her question and says he chose to get married at first sight because he knows that marriage and kids will enhance his life. And it's like, that's not a bad answer, but the way that that is phrased and said, it makes it sound like you don't necessarily want it, but it's one of those things that like you're just expected to have, to do, you're expected to want. So you're just following that path. And I need for Cameron to look inwards and decide for himself, do I actually want to get married and have kids? Because if you don't, then you don't have to do that.
And also, how do you fulfill your partner's needs in the meantime?
Do you have specific needs?
You know, my needs are like tippy touch, a little scratchy scratch here and there, smack me on the booty when I'm walking by in the kitchen.
I'm open to exploring this. There's just something that needs to be unlocked for me to feel sexually, I would say sexually attracted to you.
Okay.
His ego is hurt right now hearing that from her. So Nikki and Sean are in the hot tub at their room. Basically, he's trying to get at what he wants and needs out of this relationship. Nikki asks him, what are your needs? And he's like, I want you to rub my head. I want you to give me a scratchy scratch. That's literally what he said. And which is weird because like my baby, he's in the phase of like scratching things and I call it a scratchy scratch. Anyway, and then he's like, you know, I want you to smack my booty in the kitchen sometime. Long story short, it devolves into her saying that she is not sexually attracted to him in that way right now. And that is when he's like, well, I didn't know that you weren't sexually attracted to me. And she's like, okay, I guess it wasn't explicitly clear because, sorry, you should have been able to pick up on the hint. Helen Keller probably could have picked up on the hints. His ego's just so hurt by it. And he's just spiraling, as Shawn does.
And it's not treating my heart with care.
I'm not giving you pity kisses.
So she says that she's giving, these are physical exchanges to kisses. Are physical exchanges with someone that she likes and respects. He says, I don't want to be kissed because you like and respect me. I'm sorry, sir, but being liked and respected is part of a relationship. You shouldn't want somebody who doesn't like and respect you to be kissing you. I'm trying to be nice. I really am. I'm thinking so hard of how to say what I want to say without being mean. I'm really struggling. I kind of feel like I should just say whatever it is I want to say. Okay. Disclaimer, I tried to think of a nice way to say what I want to say. I couldn't think of one, so I'm just going to say it as I see it and as I feel it. What I'm seeing here is Shawn's ego is being very bruised, very hurt. He seems like a person who is not good at being rejected. He seems like a person who is not good at not getting his way. He is acting like a child and having a tantrum. Okay, he has just found out that Nikki is not actually sexually attracted to him. For whatever reason, this is such a big shock to him. I don't know who he thinks he is. I really don't. I don't know on what planet he thinks that every single woman should be that attracted to him. It's not the case. It's just not. You're not all that. You might have degrees. You might have a doctor in front of your name from an academic doctorate. Let's make that very clear, since at the wedding you were trying to, skirt around it a little bit. But that does not account for attraction. That does not earn attraction. Okay? And for you to have this little tantrum when Nikki lets you know that she's not sexually attracted to you, but she is kissing you still because she wants to explore. She wants to put in the effort for things to hopefully grow. She wants to cultivate this so that it can hopefully grow. You need to be appreciative. You could very well have been Jamie and Doug from season 1 of Married at First Sight. If you haven't seen it, you need to go back and watch it. Okay? She could have been absolutely disgusted by you and wanted nothing to do with you, but she is trying, which is more than I was giving her credit for. because I didn't think she was actually going to. I don't know why you thought she was so attracted to you. You saw her face at that wedding. Even when you talked about what your first impression of her was when she was walking down the aisle, you were like, I saw a beautiful young lady. Her eyes were wide. Her eyes were wide, not because she was happy. Her eyes were wide because she thought she was waiting for her husband. She didn't realize that he was already standing up there. That should have been sign number one to you that she was not sexually attracted to you. And for whatever reason, now you're acting so shocked, so confused, and you're having a tantrum. You're acting out. It is not attractive. It's very much giving the ick. And I don't think that Nikki wants someone who can't take that kind of feedback in a way that doesn't make them show out. You then go on to be like, okay, well, we cuddled, and I guess you were trying to say that basically you got aroused because you felt like they were sexual moments. And she's like, okay, that's fair to you. That's fair. But then you go and you try and start having these little digs where you're like, okay, but you giving me pecks. We've made out. You slipped tongue. Like, and she's like, you slipped me tongue on the wedding. He's like, so you're saying that I'm the only one that slipped tongue? And it's like, why are you trying to get these little digs in at her? Are you trying to imply that she's leading you on? Like, and to Nikki's point, she's like, maybe I shouldn't explore if you can't understand. And maybe she shouldn't. Maybe you need to be flat out fully rejected. But granted, if you're acting like this and she's still kissing you, I would hate to know how you act like when you're actually fully rejected. And if you keep up this behavior, I'm sure she will fully reject you. I know I would. This is disgusting. The way you talk to her in general, even outside of this specific conversation, is so condescending. You really think that you're so much better than people. Your last name might be best, but that does not mean that you are the best at everything. You may have gotten a doctorate. That doesn't mean anything to most people in a normal day-to-day. That is an academic accomplishment. Congratulations to you. That is a great accomplishment, but it does not justify the way that you act. It does not give you a free reign to be however you want to be, to talk however you want to talk, and think that people are just going to take it and accept it because he's a doctor and his last name is Best. You grew up hearing from your dad, as you said at the altar, that you are the best. And that is clearly an issue, and that's clearly led to the ego that you currently have. And I think Nikki was sent here to humble you.
Acting like you ain't attracted to me. Get out of here. Don't believe it for a second. I'm going to trust that as my wife, you're going to make it possible for us to get in alignment based on how you feel.
Okay.
What does that sentence mean? What does that sentence mean? What does that mean that as my wife, I expect that you're going to get us into alignment? What does that mean?
Feel extremely, I would say, confident that we can make this last. You already take up a lot of space in my heart.
Felipe and Tori are at like a dinner date situation on the beach. One thing about them, they're always eating. And I love it. And Felipe tells her that, she already takes up so much space in his heart and that he can see himself falling for her. And I believe him. He seems very enamored by her. She seems like she really likes him too. They really, you know what? There's a lot of hope here for them to work out. I'm hopeful. They're hopeful. And I hope that it does work out. I think that for them, it really could be like a beautiful love story. It's just going to be, I hope that they don't like burn out quickly. You know what I mean? Like, Felipe just he worries me a little bit in the sense that I don't want him to ruin this.
I feel like you're more attracted to me than I am to you.
Wow, so what is your percentage of attraction to me then?
Probably at like 150%.
150 is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably say I'm like 80%.
Absolutely not. Can we just wrap this up? Like, where are we finding these men? Who says that no woman ever wants to hear, number one, that she is more attracted to the guy than he is to her. Number two, wants to hear that, according to him, she's twice as attracted to him than he is to her. No woman ever wants to hear that. I don't know if he's trying to humble her. Sorry, I didn't even give any backstory. Mecca and Belle Jolie are in the morning on their bed having like tea, I think about to have breakfast, figuring out what they're going to do for the day. Mecca asked her, I don't even know how it came up, but anyway, she said, it came up like, who's more attracted to the other person? I'm ready to pack it up. Like, I'm ready to pack it up. Why would he say that? Why? Like, it has to be that he's trying to humble her, right? It has to be. It's either that or insecurity. I feel like there's no other reason. Like, it would have been one thing if he would have been like, yeah, I think you're more attracted to me. I would say you're at like 96% and I'm at 95%. That's one thing. But to say that she's at 150% and you're at 80% is crazy. That is insulting. Like, who do you think you are? And what do you think you look like? You're not ugly. I'm not even about to call you ugly because you're not. So I'm not going to sit here and lie just because I'm offended by what you just said. But what I will say is Belle Jolie is out of your league. I will say that. She's way prettier than you could pull on your own. So maybe you need to be humbled. And I know for a fact she's going to start moving differently after this because any woman would. You're not about to have me sitting out here being more attracted to you than you are to me, especially by twice as much. Absolutely not. No, that's diabolical.
There is something wrong with that.
Real percentage, I'll say 80, 60.
So now he gives real numbers and he's like, nah, not 150. I was just messing. So I would say you're probably like 80% and I'm at 60. So how come y'all can't both be at 80 and 80? If you were at 80 when you said that she was at 150, now you're dropping yourself to 60%. You're getting more and more insulting as this conversation keeps going. Granted, though, your daddy is really a piece of work. So I'm not surprised that this is something you think is okay to say. She's definitely going to start moving differently. I know it for a fact.
We had a good time, but Adam and Marissa, the way that they act with each other, it just looks good, looks fun. I'm just craving that.
Adam, Marissa, Devin, and Caitlin went to a water park. Devin is in his head, and he's like, I want to be like Adam and Marissa are with each other, where like Caitlin will touch my back and she'll tell me I look good. But every time I ask for stuff like that, it feels like I'm asking for too much and my cup is just so empty. And to that, I say, you need to learn how to fill your own cup. Like, that should not be how your cup gets filled. You need to figure out how to fill your own cup. Again, it has been less than a week. And I know that it sounds like small things, but for some people, it takes a while to reach that comfort level. And she said, on like that first day when you guys were having breakfast before you went to Mexico, she said that she is a slow burn. So why are you acting surprised that this is how it's going? She gave you that heads up. And you need to show her some grace. Yeah, I'm sure she could touch your back every once in a while. That's not asking for a lot, really. But if she's not comfortable with it, don't you want her to do stuff when she's comfortable with it and when she wants to do it?
You want to cheers?
Yeah, do you want me to taste test?
Cheers to jet skiing.
Do you think there's alcohol on it?
Coast is clear.
What do we think the truth is behind Adam not drinking? This is the second time they've showed Marissa tasting a drink of his to make sure there's no alcohol in it. And I'm like, if it really is the fact that you just want to retire by the time you're 40, therefore you don't drink, you should be able to test your own drink to know whether or not there's alcohol in it. It's making me think that you have issues with alcohol. And if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But let's not hide behind wanting to retire at 40 for being the reason that you don't drink while you're having your now wife taste test your drinks.
Too.
Bite. Easy to bite.
I know I don't like Adam. I know. This is not me just coming for Adam because I don't like Adam. Why are you picking up a steak with your hands and not using a fork and a knife like a civilized human being? That is not a cheeseburger. That's a steak. Please, sir. Adam and Marissa are at like a nice little dinner date situation, and he just picked up a steak with his hands. He did it the first time, and I kind of just like didn't react because honestly, I don't think I realized it. But then when he did it again to hand it to her to bite, that's when I really noticed. And then he did it, he like bit into it again himself using his hands. And I would like for him to be a civilized human. If like, is that too much to ask?
If there's one couple you'd have to send home.
No.
Devin.
So Adam asked Marissa if you had to vote for a couple to send home right now, and you're like, it's cooked, who would you choose? She doesn't want to choose, so she asks him, and he says Devin and Caitlin. She's like, okay, well, you don't think that like through couples therapy it can be fixed? And he's like, no. And I think it can. And maybe that's delusional optimism on my point, but I really think that like once they get more comfortable with each other, once Caitlin gets more comfortable with him, they can reach a good point. I just think that Devin needs to lower his expectations a bit and learn how to also fill his own cup. So Devin and Caitlin are again having issues around Devin feeling like she's not giving enough. And like he feels like she wants to just be left alone, even at the water park. And she's like, I don't know what else I can do. Like, so basically they're just looking forward to meeting with the experts because at this point, it's like a lost cause for them to do. And I really kind of feel like it would be really beneficial if they brought the experts in, I don't know, 4 days after the weddings or something, just to help get through these like initial days, these initial issues, so they aren't just building and compounding for the whole week or 2 weeks. I believe it's been a week at this point that they've been together. And it's just like their entire honeymoon has been around Devin's issue of feeling like she doesn't want him. And this could have been resolved on day 4 if they just would have brought the experts in. It's exhausting to keep listening to over and over and over and over and over again. But anyway, that is the end of episode 5. And now we move on to episode 6, where they're finally back home.